Oh my gosh. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Jolene's Happy Time Craftcast. I am so excited that you could join me on this lovely Wednesday. If you are here with me live, I'd love for you to give me a hello in the comments. Lets me know who's hanging out with me, which I totally appreciate. Before we get to today's guests, I'd love to tell you about a few things that are going on here at Big Raven Farm. Uh, Right now, we are in the midst of getting ready for our last retreat of the season. This marks number 26, and it was 12 in a row. So it's a big week for us. Huge celebration of, well, maybe we shouldn't celebrate yet. We'll celebrate on Sunday that we got here, that we got this far. But I want to just say, and I don't know that I've done a good job of saying it out loud here, but I really have to thank our team. We have an amazing team here at Big Raven Farm, and they just make everything better. And this is the first year that we've had a team, and they are amazing. So, Marsha, Jesse, Rhonda, Deanna, Shannon, Brandon, thank you so much for helping Darren and I do what we do. We couldn't do it without you, nor would we want to. So thank you guys for being so amazing. And we will celebrate this incredible season with a really great party just as soon as we're done. So thank you guys. I appreciate you and love you so much. So our last retreat that starts tomorrow is called Awaken Your Magic. And we are doing tarot yoga and of course, really great food and some crafts as well. I'm excited about this one because I'm kind of new in the tarot space. I don't really know a whole lot about it, but my collaborator and friend Becca does. So Becca's got that part handled. I'll be teaching yoga, guiding our crafty activities. Darren, of course, will be taking care of the food. So we'll circle back. We'll let you know how it goes. This is our first one and it's sold out. So I'm really excited to welcome 16 guests tomorrow. So I'll keep you in the loop about how it goes, but it should be really, really awesome. For Big Raven Yoga, we do have some Black Friday specials going on. I think it's actually $50 off any one of our Big Raven originals. The discount code is CROW, maybe Crow 50. I'll put it in the show notes. But we don't do this very often. So you'll want to get in on that if you need a new yoga mat or if you need to buy a gift. And we can still personalize and make it in time for the holidays and all that stuff. Okay. I think that's all of my little crafty chatter banter that I needed to tell you about. Hello, Karen. Thank you so much for being here. It's great to have you. I appreciate seeing you every week. You're just the best. All right. Well, it is time for me to introduce our guest today. She's someone that you're going to really enjoy getting to know. Sarah Seidelmann is a fourth generation physician. She's an accomplished author, a shamanic healer. Her celebrated and unconventional work aims to restore the soul. Now, raise your hand if you'd like a little soul restoring. I know I sure would. Like me, she leans into collage and she's got this really cool thing about a pocket vision board. So we're going to ask her all about that. So let's get started and please welcome Sarah to the show. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Joleen. Thanks for having me. Excited to
Of
be here.
course. Thank you for being here. I forgot to tell folks that you, like me, we're Minnesota girls, and I love it. I love being a Minnesota girl. What
I
about you?
love it.
Yeah,
I
it's
love it. I mean, I live up in Duluth, and yeah, Lake
mm,
Superior is just like
I know,
the
right?
best.
It is exactly that. Okay, so when you meet a new friend and they say, "Hey, Sarah, tell me about yourself." What is your elevator pitch like of all the things that you do? Like how do you introduce yourself first?
Well, I don't get that question a lot anymore, which is kind of refreshing. But like when I'm
Right?
in this kind of setting, I talk about the fact that I used to be a pathologist, which was essentially a professional disease hunter. And
Right.
I got curious after 20 years of practicing medicine. Like, I understand what makes people sick and what, on some level. And, I got curious about like what makes people well. And that kind of put me on a path to start looking at what makes people well. And one of the things that I discovered was that self-expression is a really important part. And if you look like all over the globe, um,
Mm-hmm.
particularly in indigenous traditions, there's everybody is like doing some sort of self-expression, singing, dancing, writing, telling
Yeah.
stories, creating things with their
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah.
And that's what you do here, Joleen. So it's just
It's
like you're
exactly what we do.
bringing health and
You're talking to the right
vitality.
group. Yeah. We
Yeah,
get it.
totally.
Well, that's amazing. So,
Yeah.
in your, okay, so you bridge, right? It sounds like what keeps people well, the the creation, the working with your hands, the finding your medium. And then you are an artist as well. So, in your own practice, do you have a project or a technique or a thing, excuse me, that is your favorite? Like, where do you kind of land as a maker?
Yeah. Well, I'm mostly a painter myself, but how
Okay.
I started was in collage. And one of the
Yeah.
things that I love to do with groups is something that I call a pocket vision board. And this is kind of an example of what it looks like. You just have index cards and like these little ring things are kind of nice because
Yeah.
you can add to it or subtract it. And I really
Yeah.
like this project because the scale is small and it's doable because a
Yeah.
lot of us are so busy and maybe I'm running a workshop and we have 2 hours, and in 2 hours you can do a lot of things. And so this
Yeah.
isn't just and it's not just collaging, it's actually a process where, and you'll get a download and we're going to put the
Oh, that's
download
so
in
nice.
so you can have
We
the
love
directions
downloads.
to
Thank
do this.
you.
Yeah, if you want to do it on your own, but um each each collage that is in here is like, for example, this one, which was all about like rest and relaxation and being able to
Yeah.
like um do that. On the back of the index card you're writing sort of like affirmations but written in the current kind of how things are right now. So like on the back of this
Okay.
card where I'm sort of trying to find peace and rest in a
Yes.
very
Yeah.
tumultuous period of my life, it says,
Yeah.
now I am now embracing solitude and deeper spiritual guidance. My connection to myself is now my greatest asset. I'm like speaking into the future what I want to create in my
Yeah.
life. And
I
I
love
find, I mean, I've made probably 25 of these in in the last 10 years. And it's just incredible how quickly our lives can
Yep.
shift. And it's something you can
Yep.
keep by your bedside table. Um, so for me, it combines art and being creative and using words,
Yeah.
which are my favorite things, into really transforming the things in your life that you're longing to shift.
Definitely. And Sarah, one of the questions that I get a lot, and I think a lot of makers do, is we get well, what do you do with it? Like, what do you do with that once that's made? And I think that there's two parts of that I think are worth discussion. Part one is it doesn't really matter. Like, it's the process of making it and connecting to the finding, like the image harvesting, we call it, right? Or connecting to the language or the words that you put down. So, have you ever had people say that to you? Like, okay, but what do I do with it? And then what do you say?
Well, I know myself as an artist, I'm super
Yeah.
prolific. And sometimes I've struggled with that question as
Yeah.
I like fill like spaces and spaces with like especially large
Yes.
canvases. And like,
Yep.
um, so I've wondered about that. Like, in Tibetan Buddhism, I mean, one of the things they do is they will spend months working on a sand painting. I don't know if you guys, anybody's listening, has ever seen this, but they do these exquisite multicolored with like tiny
Yeah, of
tweezers,
course.
like
Yeah.
putting every grain of sand in place. And it's amazing. And then they sweep it all away with a broom. So there are like practices where people don't
Yeah.
have to do anything with it. They let it go. And I think that's
Yep.
something good to think about while you're making things. Um, but for me, well, for this, it's like the answer of what do you do with it? You work with it
Yeah.
every day. You glance at it before bed, you keep it in your
Yeah.
purse, however you're going to do that. Um, but what am I going to do with it? I guess like when there are things that you're not sure, like, am I going to try to sell it? Like you're in that place, you're like, I'm not
Right.
necessarily wanting to be an artist. I think one of the most potent ways you can work as a creative is to make gifts.
Yeah.
And this is originally what our creativity is for. There's a book, and I'm going to get the name wrong, but it's something about the mythol. I'm going to get the name wrong. Maybe I'll remember and I'll give it to you. But it's
Okay.
just this idea that creativity was always used in ancient times in
Yeah.
the spirit of gift giving. So it's
Yeah.
like you made things in honor of somebody, like you carved a special fire stick that you were going to do to gift to somebody who was
Yep.
going to light the fire at the community fire. And it was in honor, and it was never about you. It was about them. And I think in our somewhat like monetize everything you do that you like
Yeah.
kind of world that we live in, people are like, oh, you make cards, oh, are you selling them yet, and that can be
Right.
kind of
Right.
anxiety provoking, because maybe you're not ready,
Mhm.
or maybe you don't want to sell your cards. But
Right.
like, I definitely start sharing it with people, because I find that when you give people art, to somebody who, yeah, you just feel inspired to, like, listen to that inner voice, like, who does this need to
Mhm.
go to? um I think you'll be amazed at what happens.
I
And
think
just
that's great advice, because I know that, when I give my pieces, um, I like it's I'm trying not to be selfish, but their joy and their appreciation for the piece kind of lights me up, and I get a whole lot out of that, and the intention, right, of creating it for someone. I think it changes for me, like the process, but I also think there's another part of this question, and that's that, like, sometimes we make just to get what's inside out. And we don't have to sell it or give it or have a museum like quality to it. We just need to experience the release or the gift that is making. And I know sometimes
yes.
it's hard to articulate.
No, I totally agree. Like, the gift is the actual process of doing it. And that's kind of a
Right,
hard thing to grasp until you practice it over and over
right.
again. And then one day you go, "Oh, I get it. I get it, how
Yeah.
the universe tricks me into doing this thing, because it's a joy, and you get into that flow state and you forget about all your problems for a little while."
Yes, exactly.
I think also, like, and I'm sure you know this as an artist, like when I make paintings, I was going through a kind of a really difficult time a couple summers ago, and I
Mhm.
was making all these paintings, and I started hanging them all over the walls, because I was just like, I don't know where these are going, and I hadn't sold them yet or figured out of where I was going to do a show or anything. And
Yeah.
it was amazing. Like, they came back to like feed me. It was like all the messages and the energy in them was just like, you got this, girl. I've got
Oh,
a painting right now that is of my sister's dog, who's like a pug slash chihuahua. I could pull it
oh,
down for you. Would you
how
like me to?
brilliant.
It's right. I'll just do it. It'll take me one
Okay,
second.
okay,
It's like
okay.
6 feet away.
I mean, raise your hand if you would like to see a pug. What was the other one? Did she say
I mean,
Chihuahua?
I think everybody needs to
Oh,
see this
for those of you listening,
muffin.
it's forget me nots, and it's pink and green, and there is a beautiful dog, and there's some language on it, and it just inspires happiness. We needed to see
Yeah,
that. It's awesome. Tell us again
it just says your
the
love.
combo, Sarah. What Chihuahua?
She's
What
a
kind of
pug chihuahua mix.
dog? Okay,
Pug
that's
chihuahua mix. So
perfect.
she's a chug. And she just has this feisty, kind of very sweet quality. And
Yeah,
I don't know. So that's one that I painted. And right now I just needed that. So I
sure.
put it on my way up the stairs. So I see it every day. Like, sometimes we make art for ourselves,
Mhm.
and whatever comes is a healing, is a reminder of who you are, because everything we make is self-portrait. Which,
Yeah,
if you think about everything you've ever made, that can be really kind of interesting to look back and go, "Oh,
right. I've never heard it contextualized that way, and I love that. I love that. I think we need to say that again. You said everything we make is a self-portrait.
yep."
Friends, are those of you here live, like, did you just go poof? Yep, they did. They did. They have, that's amazing and absolutely. And I appreciate that, friends. You're the best. Okay, so I'm going to switch gears for us just for a second, Sarah, because we did tell our community that you were arriving and you were our guest today. And so we asked them for what questions do they have of you. So I'm going to share those with you now. So we have one here from Penny. Penny, thank you so much. We'll be sure to send you a little Happy Time Craftcast swag to thank you. Your work is so vibrant and full of life. How do you choose your colors? Is it intuition, mood, or something deeper? Great question.
Such a good question.
Uh-huh.
Well, I always have like my favorite colors like on stash that are like
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
and then every once in a while I'll treat myself and try to find like get a new color of usually acrylic paint, although this summer I was doing a lot in oil.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I don't tend to use as many super dark
Okay.
paints, but sometimes I do, and then that can be quite fun too.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Intuitive painting is really fascinating to me, and I haven't done as much of it. But when I did, oh my gosh, I have had some really potent experiences, like spiritual experiences, like deep
Yeah.
full body. Whoa.
I would
Um,
love to do that in a course or with, like I would like to do that with someone kind of prompting and leading and guiding. I think that
yeah,
that could be really incredible. I'm sure I'm capable on my own, but I think that's like a thing I would like to experience.
I did it with Aviva Gold, who's a well-known. She wrote a book called Painting from the Source, and she
Okay.
just died. I think it's been a year now since she died, but she was an incredible. She would open sacred space, and then we would just just start to paint without any plan, without any,
Right.
and it was absolutely astonishing to see what everybody made. And then we embodied the paintings, which was kind of terrifying and very vulnerable. And then this painting
Yeah.
spoke to us. It was like, wow, is a
See,
my
I want that, Sarah. I want to try that. I haven't, so one of the things I'm thinking about for 26 here is that like like you, I'm usually the teacher, right? Like I am usually the facilitator or the leader, and I love that. I love that so much, and I'm super happy to share the little nuggets that I have. But in 26, I would really like to be fed, right? Like I would like to be the student in a space. And
yeah,
I think that intuitive painting is probably the thing that I would pick because I feel pretty prolific as a builder, right? Like that's kind of where I land in that I build stuff out of old stuff.
yeah,
But I think that just it sounds like a juicy little refresh.
yeah, yeah. It's no joke, really powerful stuff. And
Yeah, right?
I used that technique when my mother-in-law was dying in the hospital. We knew she didn't have very long. And so one afternoon, I started a very dark background, which isn't really like me, but I was like,
Yeah,
I'm just like letting myself, I put on this
sure.
beautiful piece of like choral music, and I just started using my hands and just doing this dark background. And I was just following whatever intuition. And eventually it just became this like field of lupin. And if you've ever stepped into a field of lupin and just those
Yeah.
blue flowers just going for, it was so beautiful, and I could feel her, like, entering this field of
Yeah.
flowers and the infinite, and wow, it's just, and it's
I'm gonna
something nothing like I've ever painted before, but I absolutely love it, and yeah, really
I'm gonna
special to me.
sign some of these and I'm gonna link them in the show notes and maybe like as like a crafty time community friends, maybe we can all like do this somehow. Like I don't know, like online or like it's on my list. I'll see if I can't solve
Yes,
for more
do
than
it.
just because it just sounds amazing. So, okay, here's another question for you then. Sarah, this one is from Jasmine. Jasmine, thank you. We'll send you some swag. I love the idea of the pocket vision boards. Okay, how often do you
Yep.
refresh yours and what's the best way to start one? So I know you're going to share with us a digital
You're gonna
download of
get a
sorts.
cute little guide. Yes, a funny little
Okay,
PDF guide that's humorous. I hope
perfect.
you'll enjoy it.
Thank you.
But I usually like to sit down with, like, my life areas, so, like, health,
Mm,
vocation, my
yeah.
financial situation, kind of get 5 or 6 areas that you're kinda interested in, and then grab 5 or 6 index cards,
Okay.
and then you're basically going to write on the back. Well, sometimes you can score yourself, like, you can give yourself a 0 to 5, and it's not because we need to know where you're at, but just so you know
Right.
where you're at, like, "Oh, I'm at
Hmm.
a 3 in my financial planning right now," or whatever. And then you're
Oh,
just going to write these positive statements on one side of the card. I am now like living well within my means. I am now like building my savings to levels I didn't know was imaginable, whatever it is, you know?
Yes, yes,
And then
yes.
on the
Okay.
other side, you just collage whatever the heck you want on there. And you can be
Right.
really logical. You can put things that you want to achieve or numbers that you want to get to, or you can
Yeah.
be completely go by colors and feel and flowers and whatever's, you know, it really doesn't matter. And I've often found that that can be really magical too, when you just let your right brain, your creative self, just pick the image, even if it's not logical, especially if it's
Right.
not logical. And then the other thing I like to do is kind of, I'll go around if I'm working with people and I will hand out like different cards. Like this was one from my card deck that I've created. So I'll let people draw a card as they're working on it. So you get kind of some, I think of them as like sacred messages from the universe to
Right.
help you manifest and create what you're trying to create in your life.
Right.
Um,
I love that.
yeah, or they'll be, yeah, just different things. And so, and then I usually update mine, like as I create what I want, I will remove those cards and I keep them in a shoebox. And it's so cool because you can look back and you just, if you ever
Right.
wonder, wow, am I being supported by the universe? You'll laugh so hard because you've got a shoebox full of these cards that are like all these things. You're like, yep, done. Yep,
What
showed
a
up. Yep, fixed.
treasure, what an absolute treasure trove. And I
Yes.
was gonna say, Jasmine, too, another thing to maybe consider is like, so I know a lot of my people ask about where I get images, and I know that I have a different amount of supply because I have a craft club that I'm always collecting pieces for. People give me their garbage. I have tons of books that come through my hands. But I did want to give a little shout out to our friends over at Collage Soup. So
Ooh,
Emily has been on the pod and she has a lot of free downloads, but she also has, so you can download from Collage Soup and you can print them at home or you can buy the actual books. So I have Flower Power and
ooh.
are we're talking like vibrant, lovely images. So like if you didn't want to like source and hunt through magazines, I
Yeah.
think Collage Soup is an excellent resource. In fact, Emily and I are working on a Joleen version, which is called Library Lover. Um,
Ooh, I love it.
but like
I love
these,
it. I love it.
right? So
And Goodwill and like old tag sales are great where you can
yes,
just get people's old letters, like really
yep.
strange things and cut them up. Some of
Yep,
that takes some
love,
time.
love. Well, and I like I love cutting things out of books, but I also love like the organization and the way that like I can just grab a collage suit book and not grab 100 other things.
Yeah.
And when I cut something out, like I am so precious, I put the leftover back in the book because I don't want to waste any of it because it's so
Yeah,
beautiful. Like
totally.
she does an
Ooh,
amazing job.
it's so good.
I
Yeah,
know
so
if
fun.
you can't see what I'm holding up, we're gonna link this in the show notes, but it's collagesoup.com and Emily Stone has done such a great job. Like that girl is everywhere. Like I open my Pinterest, boom, there she is. Like she is just killing it and she's got a really great vision. So if you're working in collage or you're new to it and you're like, where do I get images? The free stuff is good, the garbage stuff is great. But if you want something that's contained, I highly recommend Collage Soup. Love it.
Awesome.
Okay, there's one more for you here then, Sarah. This one is Claire from Santa Fe. As someone who started art later in life, what would you say to creatives who feel behind or like they missed their chance? Oh, Claire, that's a great question. I want to give you a hug.
Good question. I just watched a video of a woman from France who's 104 years old who didn't start yoga till she was 50, and she's a yoga teacher and now all she does is teach yoga. I would say like it's never too late to start. Like I did not touch a paintbrush until I was like 54, and now or maybe 53, and now I'm 58, and I've had like multiple solo shows. I've had done an art documentary, sold paintings to people in Germany, people in Canada, and like 12 states in the US. I mean, it is possible if it's possible for me, it is possible for you. I mean,
Well, and don't you think
don't
too,
let
like, well, so like you are trained in, you're a physician, right? So your background is in something completely different. I
Yeah.
have my master's degree in counseling and personnel, right? So my training is so very different than like what I actually do and what I love to do. So, a lot of times people will say, so Jolene, are you self-taught? Yes. Yes, I am. And I make some garbage stuff along the way. Like I think you have to be willing to play and like let go of the what am I going to do with it? Where is it going to go? This idea of just to make because it's fun, right? And you
Yeah.
might make some garbage along the way, but like I learned so much from my garbage. And I also think about like people who are at the epitome, or as my son says, epitome, the epitome of their career. Like think about like a Babe Ruth, right? Like isn't the analogy that like he struck out like a gabillion times, but then he like hit a gabillion times, and like you need both? Or Michael
Yeah.
Jordan, right? Like he missed, but he also made it. So I think about that a lot when I get frustrated with the, it didn't turn out, or I can't do what I thought I could do, or this was a waste of time. I think that's one that gets the crafters a lot. Like we land in this waste of time space. Thoughts on that?
Yes, I have lots of thoughts on that. In
Yeah.
our creative group that I co-run with a friend from England, we say be a factory, not a warehouse. Like to make great work, you have to
Hmm.
make an absolute gobbing smacking amount of work. And
Yes.
that's just how it is. And like, there's another painting saying that I heard is like you have to have you paint 1,000 bad paintings
Hmm.
before you start to, which is sort of depressing, but if you enjoy it along the way, it doesn't matter, like you just enjoy, like make it fun, like do it with people, do it with, go on a retreat at Joleen,
Yeah.
have fun, because part of it is the community and part of it is claiming your title as an artist. Like I remember when I claimed my title as a writer, it was like all of a sudden my whole life got a little more interesting. So it was like, well, I'm a writer now. So like, everything that happens to me can
Right,
be part of
right,
my work, or everything
right.
as an artist gets to be, oh my gosh, like I can write that trip off to India because I'm just absorbing all this so I can make paintings, or I can write off that trip to Minneapolis or whatever, to the Art
Sure.
Institute, because I'm going to go be an artist and like sketch in the museum
Be a
just like
student, right?
real
You're being,
artists do,
yeah. Hmm.
and
Hmm.
you're going to feel so much along the way. It's such a beautiful journey. I'm not
I love
saying
that
it's easy.
response, Sarah. Thank you so much. And thank you to Penny and Jasmine and Claire for sending in your questions. May, my assistant, will send you something in the mail to thank you so much for your participation, which we appreciate so much. Thank you. All right. So Sarah, I'm going to switch gears again if you're ready. But
Yes.
there's something I kind of thought would be in alignment with what we're talking about today. So you talk about the pocket vision board. And here's something that I've been working on. I have been working on an oracle deck in preparation for this retreat that starts on Thursday. I don't know a whole lot about this, but I
Yay.
basically get the gist that these can be affirmations, they can be manifestations, it can be like positive language that you might need in your life. And the
Yes.
idea is when you make an oracle deck that they're usually like 30 to 60 cards. We're going to start with 12 so that it is manageable. But what I did, because in a deck, you want the covers to look similar so that you can't tell which one is which. So what I did was I took some cardstock, right, 140 pound, so that it's got some heft to it. It's blank on this side. And then on this side, I went back to the tried and true, friends. I went back to collage with a napkin. So I had these beautiful black and like rose and kind of magenta napkins in my stash. And
So
I
pretty.
think we've talked about this enough about the preparation of a napkin. So you know what you want to do is here's a cool one, right? I love this. This was probably my grandma's. All right. So when you're working with napkins, what you want to do is you've got to get down to just the very first ply. And
Gotta
you can
separate
take,
it.
yep, you can take your fingers and you can mess with it forever and ever and be frustrated, or just take some tape and grasp it and then
Oh,
pull it away,
that's
right?
cool. I
Okay,
love
so
that.
now, right? And now this little bit if you stamp on this, you've got another transparent layer in your collage. So keep that. This is really amazing because when you collage, it basically disappears. So that's good. So now the question is, am I down to the one layer? I don't think I am. So I'm going to test it where there's not a flower. Oh, and look at that. There's one more layer. So use your piece of tape, get rid of that guy. And look at
Whoa.
this. There's like a secondary layer that we can also use in collage. Like, look at that. I still have this kind of less vibrant flower that I can use for something else. And this, friends, is how your friend Joleen ends up with so much garbage because I can't throw any damn thing away because everything has a use. But okay. So in the collage with the napkin, we got to get all the way down to the thinnest layer. Okay. So then we come back to our cards, and it's a process because they curl up. They kind of get like this because of the adhesive. So what I did was I collaged on the bottom, put the napkin on, let it dry, and then I came back with Mod Podge or Mod Podge. Pick and choose. I'm not fighting with you today. My mom always said Mod, and I know it's Mod, but anyway. So put your Mod Podge on there, let it dry, and it's gonna whoop again. So then after those two layers are all the way dry, then we're going to take it and we're going to put it under a heavy book, set of books, something so that we can get out. And I did. I put it under one of these from my stash. Everybody should have one of these in their stash that you don't fold, but you just have this guy laying around because we need to smush stuff. This is an encyclopedia of law procedure. It's a big girl. So I keep that on my desk and I
Love
smushed them all.
it.
Okay. So now I have these 12 cards. Okay. So how do we make this into an oracle deck? So we come back on the clear sides. And if I was going to do a affirmation, I would write. And here's the thing. I don't like my handwriting, but I force myself to do this because we had somebody on the podcast. I wish I could remember who, but they said, why would you deny somebody the gift of your handwriting? Like, why be selfish and hold that back because you have these like perceptions of perfection? Like, let that go and just put it on there because someday somebody is going to love that you wrote on it. So I try to think about that all the time. So now I've got these 12 backs that are blank where I can put these affirmations. And then when I quote unquote pull a card, I'm not going to know which one I got because I use the whole napkin technique. Yeah. All right. So that's the project of the day. Let me know how that goes because I think
That
that's
is
going to,
so fun.
right? Isn't that fun? And we used garbage on the bottom, right? So we're going to use scrap paper here, just cut into card shape. And then, of course, I got out the old corner rounder from back in the scrapbooking days.
So satisfying.
Yeah, but it's a process, 2 times of drying. So anyway, good luck with that one, friends. And like, I love napkins and I love napkins in collage. I think they're just amazing.
There's an artist here up in Duluth her work's been in museums all over the world, and she gets napkins from IKEA because she does a lot of Nordic inspired portraiture, like
Yes.
foot high
Yeah.
portraits of women, and then she incorporates the napkins like as part of her design. It's amazing.
I love the stinking napkin. I think it is amazing. And you can get so many at, of course, like a TJ Maxx or back in the day when there was a Tuesday morning. I loved a Tuesday morning because they had such
Yes.
beautiful napkins. And then I've bought them, a ton of them, and then I've sorted them down into like packets so that a person could get, one of each instead of 12 of one. So that's another great idea where you could like go in with a friend or a group of friends and everybody buy a pack and then do a swaparoo.
Switch them up. It's a great idea.
Right? Isn't that a great idea? All right. So
Yes.
if you all do that one, let me know about it because I'm going to work on mine. I'm going to do my handwriting and kind of practice this little soapbox that I'm on today. So, and while we're shifting gears too, I would also like to talk to you about my book review for this week. And it's in alignment with the same thing about doodling and handwriting. So the book that I took a look at this week is called The Daily Doodle Journal. And I know that's backwards for those of you who are here live, but that's what it's called. It's The Daily Doodle Journal. Discover your inner whimsy and find moments of mindfulness. And so I'm on a quest. I'm on a quest to be a better drawer, and I'm on a quest to be better at watercolor. And I realize that those things are not going to just jump into my skill set if I don't practice. So I bought this because like I've said a million times before, I'm an amazing Pictionary partner. I'll guess anything, but I'm a terrible drawer. So I want to get over that. Like I want to like be a little doodler in those kinds of ways. So I thought, okay, this book, the idea is that you doodle one thing a day. And then at the end of the year, you have all of your doodles, and along the way, you are learning some techniques. So on this one, the birds were already there, and the idea was that you make music notes. Okay, I can make music notes. I'm a musician, that's possible. And that's it. That was the whole thing. And then the next day, there was an outline of a tennis shoe, and then I got to Joleen it. So I did the checks and I did the laces and I did the bottom. Loved it so much. Took no time at all. And then the next prompt was about stickers on a suitcase. The kids and I are headed to New York in January, and we're going to Hamilton, the Book of Mormon, and Little Shop of Horrors. So I listened to the prompts. I did what it said. My only gripe about this book is that the paper does not appreciate a point 0.8 or a 0.1 pigment marker. It goes through. So that's a smidge disappointing. But I would imagine you could use a ballpoint pen and have like similar results and it wouldn't go through. So all the feels, your emojis, stars. I learned this cool technique. Like, did you know that if you want to make a shooting star, get this, friends. I love that I learned this. So you make a star, right? Easy enough. Let's get down there where you can see it. Okay, so I made a star. And then what you do is you make 4 whooshes. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 4 whooshes. And then you make little V's connecting your whooshes. Look at that. Now we know a dang doodle.
I love
And
it.
I love that. And then you can come back in, right? And you can fix it. Or if you do a star this way, you can color the whole thing in. So the question might be, okay, Joleen, you are a builder, you are a crafter. Why are you getting into this doodle thing? Well, because I don't do it very often and I want to be able to do it and I want to be able to sketch things out. And I learned, look at that. We all learned how to make a shooting star today. Bless you, Sarah. So yeah, so this book, I recommend, I do. It is called Daily Doodle Journal. I think it was maybe $16. I can't really remember. But the idea is it's a quick pop in, it's a quick check in every day, so we can get better at this skill. I even tried my name in I think I did pretty good. Look it. I Jolened. I bubble wrote Joleen, and I didn't even sketch it out. I just did it. And I think that's what I'm trying to bring in for myself is just less perfection in this area and just more trying, right? More trying. All right, Sarah, thoughts?
Well, yeah, I love it. It's like it reminds me of one thing I'm a huge fan of is 100-day projects or 30-day projects. I usually
Yes.
run one every summer and it's just amazing. Like if you make a project
Yeah,
that's like 15 minutes long, like you will blow your own mind by the end of 100
exactly.
days. You really will.
Well, and it's just I gotta try, right? Like I've been saying this for so long. Like I'm sure everyone here in my world who watches my show or follows me on social, they've heard me say a million times that I can't draw. Like I say it all the time. So I'm definitely manifesting my own experience. Like I say it, and so it's true. Also, I have that thing where I just expect a skill set to pop into my ability without ever really practicing or trying. That's ridiculous.
Right.
So I need to practice and I need to try. So I hope some of you will come along with me. Daily Doodle Journal, and I'm going to say 8 out of 10. If it had better paper, if it didn't, go through with a pigment marker, it would be a 10 out of 10. But because I don't really dig the paper, 8 out of 10. I'm just checking our comments here. Everyone, thank you for leaving them, you guys. You are so amazing. I love you so much. All right. Well, if you can believe it, Sarah, can you believe it? We're almost out of time, and it's time for our happy 10. So this is one of our favorite parts of the show. And you know that you can give us one word answers. You can elaborate. It just gives us a chance to get to know you better. Hopefully our questions aren't too hard. And this first one, sometimes it's really hard. It surprises me. But what is your favorite word? And it could just be today or it could be always. Like we know these things change.
For today, I'll say salutations because it reminds me of Charlotte from Charlotte's Web. And she's like one of my favorite characters.
Oh, oh, is it some pig? Is that what it says up in the web? Some pig?
She wrote, yeah, that was one of her web words.
Yeah, yeah. And salutations. Oh, I love that. That's a great word. I am gonna go with today it's celebration. Because like we're almost there, Sarah. We're almost there. We're almost at 26 done, right? And that's a heck of a feat when I really, sit down and think about like how many guests that is and how many people and how many meals and like good job, guys. Like that's awesome. And I'm very excited about that. Do you then have like a least favorite word?
Least favorite word. Never thought about that. That's such a
I
wild question.
know.
I'd probably say like scarcity or something like that because it
Oh
sounds so
yeah.
scaredy cat, scarcity. Ooh.
Right, right. Mine are my least favorite words are kind of like bodily words, like the ones like booger or like those. They're kind of like "Bleh," like it's a word and a sound or it's a word and a texture. Like yeah, don't like those so much. This one is probably our favorite question because we are a group of sandwich loving toast makers. What is the best kind of sandwich?
I would have to say Pizza Luce does this like vegan muffaletta that is really good. That's probably my favorite one.
Yeah. So I don't, does Pizza Luce only have locations in Minnesota?
Probably.
Yeah, okay. So Duluth, yeah, and
Yeah.
Minneapolis and St. Paul. I don't know where else. But they also have my kids like the macaroni and cheese pizza.
Oh yeah.
So it's super toasty bottom and then ooey gooey macaroni and cheese on top. For
Mm,
me, it's like a couple bites and I gotta tap out because it's so, so rich. But yeah, they do great stuff. They do great stuff.
they do.
So for me, I'm gonna go with okay, this was a surprise. It happened this past weekend. But we had a few folks in our group that were dairy free, gluten free, and vegetarian. So it was kind of a challenge to come up with really great proteins for them. But Darren made a cauliflower crust pizza with smashed chickpeas, barbecue sauce, and banana peppers.
Whoa.
It was amazing. And some cilantro and red onion. It was so good. And like
Ooh.
there was like the leftover mash like in the bowl and I just ate that. And like toast, cauliflower, like cauliflower crust, any of them. It was delicious. And I loved the well, I'm kind of a sand person. Like I love the sandy, gritty texture of the chickpeas. Oh, so good. So good. Highly recommend.
Yum. Sounds good.
I know it was. It was. Okay. Back to serious business. So
What does
you're a lot of things, and one of those things is an artist. So what does it mean to you to be an artist?
Uh, that is just a wild question. That's a hard one. What does
Okay.
it mean? It just means I think it means to be vulnerable, especially if you're sharing your work in public. It means to be
Yeah.
vulnerable, to be yourself. Yeah, and to do that in a public sphere, kind of.
Right.
Yeah.
So I hear a little bit of bravery in there.
Yeah.
For those of you who are here live, I would love for you to answer this too. What does being an artist mean to you? Because my answer today is like I kind of feel like being an artist is a whole lot more of like all of the hats that I wear. That's the one that I wear all the time. Meaning, I solve problems as an artist. I parent as an artist. I think I present to my partner as an artist. In that like there are lots of ways to be creative in problem solving, in approach, in joyfulness, like in the way that I approach the problems that greet me. I feel like my artist hat is the one I don't take off very often. I mean, I don't take off mom and wife either, but you know what I mean? Like it's always, always there kind of guiding and directing. So I guess I feel safety in that because I understand it. That could be wildly convoluted. I don't know.
Yeah, like life as art, like living everything as art. I like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's just kind of what automatically and intuitively comes up for me. Um,
Mhm.
so I know you've had several professions, but is there one that you haven't attempted that you would like to?
That I still wanna do?
Maybe in
Yeah,
a dreamy kind of
how about
way,
you do
right?
yours first and I'll think about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to be a welder, but I'm very accident prone and very clumsy. So everyone in my family is like, no, you may not be a welder, but I still dream about it because I want to like make stuff with metal, right? Like it's not so much as a
Yeah,
profession
yeah.
as it is another medium.
Yeah. I guess for me, it would be I always have this recurring thought of, like, having, like, a coffee shop that's sort of like a gathering
Oh,
place and a community place where you can just be
yes.
positive and just greet everybody and have a great day and, like, yeah. And I know that having a coffee shop is not so simple, like, it's a big task, but yeah, that idea of doing some sort of hospitality is yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I do that and I got to say I love welcoming people into my coffee shop. Like I love
Yeah.
their arrival. I love taking care of them. I love surprising them with more than they think. Like I love all of that little nuance of tending. And
Mhm.
it could be because I'm an empty nester and I'm no longer tending to children and their friends and running to hockey and volleyball and all of that stuff. So there's like more bandwidth to do that. And I love it. I love it so much. It's like the best part. It's the absolute best part.
Awesome.
So, oh, and thank you so much. Being an artist, the act of turning nothing into something, I totally identify with that. Even if it is like,
One.
right, an emotion or a feeling or something like woo woo. I'm with you on that one for sure. Thank you for that, dear. I appreciate that. Is there a profession that you would not like to do? Like, no matter what? Nope, nope, not doing it.
Oh my gosh. Accountant?
Oh,
Like,
yes,
anything that would involve spreadsheets and yeah, that
yes.
just wouldn't float my boat.
Oh, good answer. Good answer. Yes. I would say for me, anything like within like a cubicle where your work is in that one space, right? Like if you didn't have like brainstorming meetings or, like where you just had to kind of sit down and to God bless those folks. God bless them. I don't know how they do that. I need the stimulation at the water cooler. I need like
Right. And
I need
the great thing is people who do accounting, they love it, like, they get
right?
into it. It's so
Yes.
awesome.
Well, the engineer in my life, he loves writing code and he loves like developing, and that's pretty like one person sit down and do it. He loves it and he misses it. So that's kind of in that accountant lane to me. For me, that just sounds like my brain would, like just
Yeah,
like how is that even possible?
totally.
For Oh, and I know that's Keely. Keely, by the way, thank you, darling. All right, one more for you here. Oh, it's the big one. So, Sarah, what brings you the most happiness?
For me, it's being with other people and just hanging out and talking about life and, or making art together. That is the best. I've been taking these Friday afternoon art classes and we have a community thing and it's all ages. So it's like 5-year-old kids, 70-year-old people, like and everything in between. And my BFF and I have been going and we're just laughing. It is so much fun because
I love that.
art class, but you don't have to like get a good grade or behave or anything. You
Yeah.
can just have fun.
I love that you said behave. I love that. That's awesome. Oh, wonderful. Um, for me, the most happiness definitely is always connected to people. And I would say that I get pretty shined up when people come to visit and we make art together. Like I love guiding and leading, and I don't ever feel like I'm missing anything. Like I feel like I am doing exactly what I was called to do. And that's a pretty good, happy feeling, I would say. Like sometimes when you're doing something and you're like, I would rather be doing this. like, I don't feel that. I don't feel any pull to do anything than what I'm doing. Kind of a first for me. So Sarah, tell us where we can find you, connect with you. Can you tell us about your book? Like, after our show is over, how do we stay connected?
You can find me at followyourfeelgood.com, just like it
Love it.
sounds, follow your feel good. And if you
Yes,
subscribe to I send weekly newsletters with tips for people who kind of want to show up and grow in their life. And so,
yeah,
and then you'll get like a downloaded recording to help you find your core beastie, which can help you in your life.
I love
Um,
that.
and then this is my Boundaries Make Love Possible. This is a workbook that is, as you can see, very collagey. So I did all this
Yeah,
this is digital collage.
love
But
it.
it's full color, fully illustrated with lots of fun animals and lots of like humor, and then lots
Oh,
of space for you to fill in, it's like you can do like a page a day kind of thing.
yeah,
I feel like boundaries is something that a lot of us creative, like multi-passionate people
yeah,
struggle with. I myself was diagnosed with ADHD as an adult, and I was like, oh yeah, like I need me some boundaries. And
yeah,
so I did a little project on boundaries, and yeah, it's just been really potent work. And because you can't just read books about boundaries, you sort of have to like sit and do something
yes,
to really think about, now, where
yeah,
is this? How could I actually do something about this?
yep. And do the work. So
Yeah.
remind us of the title and remind us where we can get it.
You can get it anywhere you buy books.
Oh, nice.
Boundaries Make Love Possible. You can order it from me too. I can ship it
Okay.
to you. But yeah, the regular book channels are also awesome. Or from your independent bookstore, just order it there.
Oh, that's
Um,
great.
yeah, and I have like 6 other books, which I'm guessing your creative people, everybody watching this would probably enjoy some of those too. So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I will link all of that in the show notes because Sarah, it has been an absolute pleasure. Like, thank you so
Thanks
much
for having
for
me.
joining us today. And I know my community says thank you as well because you had some lovely little nuggets today. So I will make sure that we link everything that you said in the show notes so that you are easy to find. I can't wait to get this little, like, it's a daily little recording or weekly.
This is like it's like a little workbook that you take yourself through, and it's sort of like brief stories, and then there's questions in an area for you to fill in and reflect. And it's something people are doing like in groups too, like
Sure.
girlfriends are doing it.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
with your newsletter though, like with your
Oh, the
newsletter,
newsletter. Yes, that
yeah,
comes
you
like
send
every
out,
week.
okay, an
That comes
audio.
every week, and it's not audio, it's just like 4 or 5 little brief bullet points for people who really want to like show up and grow in their life, really
I
want
do.
to. Yeah, me too. That's why I write it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes, please. I
yeah.
want one of those. Awesome. Well, I will make sure that our crew is able to find it because I can see hands going up in um the comments that they are onto it too. And there's Keely, who I love so much. Keely, thank you. She says it's been a great way to spend our lunch break. You are so welcome. And thank you so much for being here. Karen, too. Thanks, Jolene and Sarah. I enjoy the show. You guys are the best. Thank you so
Wow.
much. I do hope that you will be able to join me on November 26th. Sharon Burton is going to join me, and she is a collage and mixed media artist, curator, poet, certified creative coach, and she's based in DC. And friends, when you see her collages, she is one of us. We're going to want to talk to her. She is a certified creativity coach and soul collage facilitator, and she blends art and wellness to help creatives overcome blocks. So Sharon Burton is with me on November 26th. I'll make sure you get all the reminders and you're able to find us. So thank you again, Sarah, so much. I've had such a lovely hour. And for all of you joining us today on the Happy Time Craftcast, I hope you stay all kinds of happy until I see you next week. Take care, everybody. Thanks so much.
Thank you.